Imagine walking into a small pizza shop, fluorescent lights, a tired menu on the wall, a man behind the counter flipping dough like he has done it his entire life. Nothing unusual, nothing suspicious. Now imagine being told that behind this pizza shop, behind that counter, behind the smell of melted cheese, was heroin money. Millions of dollars, quietly cleaned, quietly moved, quietly sent back across the Atlantic. And for years, nobody noticed. This is not a movie plot. This actually happened. In the 1970s and 80s, the Italian Mafia, specifically the Sicilian Cosa Nostra, had a problem. Not rivals, not violence, not even the police. They had a money problem. Heroin was flooding into the United States, and the profits were enormous. But making money is one thing. Explaining it is another. You cannot walk into a bank with bags of cash. You cannot justify sudden wealth. And you cannot leave millions sitting around doing nothing. Dirty money has one real enemy: attention. So the Mafia chose invisibility. At the time pizza shops were spreading across America, they were cheap to open, easy to run, and almost entirely cash-based. Nobody questioned them. If a pizza shop said it sold 200 pizzas today, who was counting? If it said 400 tomorrow, who would argue? Pizza shops were boring, and boring was exactly what the Mafia needed. Here is how it worked. Heroin was produced and refined in Sicily. It was smuggled into the United States through well-organized trafficking routes. Once sold on the streets, the cash came back dirty, untraceable, and dangerous to hold. That cash was then fed into dozens of pizza shops across New York, New Jersey, and parts of the Midwest. Sales numbers were inflated, revenue was invented, growth was fabricated, drug money became pizza money. Once the money looked clean, it was moved. Bank transfers, currency exchanges, middlemen, back to Italy. On paper, it was legitimate business income. In reality, it was one of the largest heroin laundering operations the world had ever seen. It became known as the Pazza Connection. What made it brilliant was not intelligence. It was restraint. The Mafia understood something most people miss. The best front business is not flashy. It is forgettable. Nightclubs attract attention. Casinos attract regulators. Luxury brands attract questions. Pizza shops disappear into the background of daily life. Most people involved had no idea what they were part of. The man making dough was just doing his job. The cashier was just earning a wage. Even some shop owners did not know the full picture. The real power never stood behind the counter. It sat in notebooks, phone calls, and quiet agreements between people you never saw. There were no gunfights moving this system, no drama, no noise, just accounting, numbers on paper, transfers that looked normal. Violence was unnecessary. The money was already doing the work, and it worked for years. But success creates a new problem: scale. As the operation grew, patterns began to form. The same names appeared again and again, the same routes, the same transfers. Eventually, the money spoke too loudly. In the mid-1980s, U.S. authorities launched one of the largest organized crime investigations in history. The Pizza Connection trial lasted years. Dozens were convicted. Millions were seized. On the surface, it looked like the system failed. But the truth is more uncomfortable. The idea did not fail. It worked perfectly. It failed because it became too big to stay invisible. Money always leaves footprints. The more you move, the clearer the trail becomes. This story still matters today because nothing has really changed. Pizza shops became real estate. Restaurants became shell companies. Cash became art, crypto, and offshore accounts. The tools evolved. The principle did not. If you can explain the money, you can move it. If you cannot, it will eventually expose you. They did not clean the money with pizza. They cleaned it with believability. And in the end, believability has limits. If you enjoy stories that follow money instead of myths, subscribe to the channel. Violence is loud, but money tells the truth quietly.